Okay, let's look at question 18. So over here you are given two diagrams. Diagram A shows a sealed cone containing some water. Diagram B shows the cross-section of the cone and water. So they are the same cone. It's just that one is like a 3D shape and then diagram B is like a 2D cross-section. Okay, and they tell us that the radius of the base of the cone is 10 cm and the height of the cone is 20 cm. So the whole height is 20. The radius of the surface of the water is R. So this part is R. And the depth of the water is d cm. Okay, so here to here is d, and the surface of the water is h cm below the top of the cone. So up to here it is h. Okay, so they give us a bunch of information. Let's see what they want us to do. So A, show that the depth of the water D is 20 minus 2R. So I need to show this is actually 20 minus 2R. Right, so how do I do that? Okay, so if you look at this over here, do you notice something very similar? Okay, so similar triangles, right? This, let me use a smaller one. So this triangle and this triangle. Do you notice that they are similar? Right, they are similar because the angle and the angle is the same. The angle over here also the same because corresponding angle ma, right? And over here, the same common angle. Right, so A, by rules of AAA, it is similar. Right, so if I know that something is similar, I can use the ratio of them to compare. Right, so it means that the ratio of R and 10, it must be the ratio of the big one and the small one must be the same. Right? So let's compare it. You will see it in a while. So if I compare, maybe let's say the height, for example. Okay, so let me erase everything. Okay, so let's compare the height. So I know that the height of the big guy, it's 20. The height of the small one is just h. Okay, it's just h, for example. So let's see. H over 20, for example. Okay, h over 20, I'll write the small one first, or the smaller one is h, the bigger one is 20, so h over 20. This ratio will also be the same as r over 10, right? So r is the small one over here, 10 is the big one over here. So when you compare, it must be the same, right? It must be the height and the height, the length and the length, and the side and side. Okay, so r over h over 20 and r over 10. Okay, so let's rearrange my terms. Let's make h my subject for now. So if I make h my subject, I will have to multiply by 20. I want to bring up the 20, right? Bring up the 20, it means I multiply up. So 20r over 10, this gets me 2r. So h equals to 2r. Looks like I'm close. And where is h actually? Why 20 minus 2r? Because, why is d 20 minus 2r? Because h plus d must add up to 20 cm, correct? Here to here is h ma, and here to here is d. And this whole thing must add up to give me 20, right? So if I want to make d my subject, it means 20 minus h. And I know h is 2r, right? Based on what I found out just now. So d equals to 20 minus 2r. Sure. Okay, so that's all. Okay, 1 mark. Okay, so if question maybe let's say it gives you more mark, right? You might want to write out, oh, triangle this equals to the angle, and then hence by AA rule, they are similar. Okay, if the marks are a little bit more, then you can do that lah. But I think for this part, it's quite okay. Okay, let's look at part B. So the volume of water in the cone, so the volume of water over here is equal to the volume of the empty space in the cone. Where is the empty space? Empty space would be the white color parts over here, this part. Okay, so this is the empty space, right? And they tell us that the volume is the same. Okay, so what can we do? We have to plug out all our formulas and whatnot, right? So let's just recap a little bit. How do I find volume in a cone, right? Volume in a cone, if you still recall, in your formula sheet, is 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, so why 1/3? Because it's a cone, it's not a cylinder, right? So only if it's a cylinder, then it will be pi r square h. If it's like a cylinder, then simple pi r square h. But because it's a cone, you can think about it that, oh, here 2/3 is 1/3 is taken away, 1/3 is taken away. So you are left with another 1/3. Okay, so otherwise just remember the formula lah. Okay, so 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, so that is the volume of a cone. So I think that's the only formula we can use. So I have to apply it 2 times, one for the volume of water and one more time for the empty space. Okay, so take note of when and how you use the formula and input the correct values in as well. Okay, so maybe let's make it clearer. I can say volume of water. Let's find that one first since it looks to be easier. So 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by r squared h. So what is r squared? Sorry, so a and b, they are the same thing, right? So from here to here, this is my r, and it's also 10. Because here to here is 10, here to here will also be 10, right? So the radius is 10 squared. And multiplied by the height, volume of water. Okay, the volume of water would be pi r square h times. Okay, so volume of water, my bad, right? So the volume of water, right? You notice the water doesn't completely fill up all the way. Can see? So there are actually two cones over here, right? Basically the volume of water, you can think about it as the big cone minus away the smaller cone. Okay, the big cone over here minus away this smaller cone over here, right? I only want to find the volume of water over here. Okay, so let me rearrange my terms, right? So big cone minus small cone. So yes, big cone is this equation over here. Okay, right? So same thing, the big cone is 1/3 times pi times r squared, which is 10 times 10 times 20. That is the big one. Okay, so minus who? Minus 1/3 pi and then r square h. Okay, so over here, I don't know anything because I don't know about the r. I don't know what is this r. I don't know what is the h also. Okay, so let's just leave it as that. I can work out the front part, right? So the front part, every time for this kind of question, right? If it's easier for you, always leave your answer in terms of pi so that you don't have to keep keying in very long string of numbers. It's also very prone to careless mistakes also, right? So how do you put it in terms of pi? You just key in the number in your calculator, right? So in your calculator, you put 1/3 multiplied by 10 squared multiplied by 20. Okay, you will get the number 2000/3. Right, just leave it as a fraction, don't worry about it. Remember to put in the pi also, right? So although we don't key in the pi still exists, so we cannot just erase it out of nowhere. Okay, so 2000/3 pi. Then the last part over here, I can try and replace this, right? Actually, this part, we know what is h, right? Just now, one part we have already solved that h is actually 2r. H equals to 2r, right? So maybe let's replace this that h is 2r, so over here. Then now I can simplify this, right? 1/3 times 2, right? This is the only two numbers over here. So 1/3 times 2, you get 2/3. Okay, 2/3 pi r cubed, right? So pi stays as pi, r cubed, why? Because here is r squared, here is 1r. R2 times r1, you get r3. Okay, so that is the volume of water. Okay, that's only the front part over there. Next, I need to find out the volume of empty space. Okay, how do I find volume of empty space? Oh, okay. Volume of water. Okay, so volume of empty space is actually what we found out just now, right? It's the small cone over here. Can see? It's the small cone, this part over here. It's the same cone that we're talking about. Okay, so same working as just now, don't worry too much. So 1/3 times pi times r squared times 2r. Basically this part. This part over here is also the volume of your empty space, right? Because I'm taking the big cylinder minus away the small cylinder, which is also the volume of empty space. Okay, so this part you simplify, you will get 2/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so now that we have all our values in, let's start to do the question. So the volume of water in the code, so that means this expression over here is the same as this expression over here. Does it make sense? Right, volume of water is the top one. It's equal to the volume of empty space in the cone. Right, so I'll put them together. So maybe I'll write it here. So volume of water equal volume of empty space. Okay, so volume of water is 2000/3 pi minus 2/3 pi r cubed. And this whole thing is equivalent to 2/3 pi r cubed. Okay, all good so far? Yes, okay, so now that we know everything, what do I need to solve? I need to solve for D. Okay, so no worries. Over here, I don't have any D. Never mind. I can solve for R, right? See that R is my unknown, right? So how do I move this over? This is just a number. Don't be scared of it. Over here, can I move this over here? It's the same, right? 2 over 3 pi r cubed, 2 over 3 pi r cubed, right? So if I move this over, so instead of saying minus 2 over 3 pi r cubed, I bring this whole thing to the other side. Now it becomes a plus. Okay, so plus. Yeah. Okay, Okay, so maybe let me rearrange it. So over here, 2 over 3 plus 2 over 3, you get 4 over 3 pi r cubed. And this is equivalent to 2000 over 3 pi, right? I never do anything to the left-hand side. I just copied it down. Okay, so over here, pi and pi is the same, right? I can cancel it. Okay, pi and pi I'll cancel. Let me rearrange my terms. So let me rewrite it as the correct expression. So always write your unknowns on the left-hand side. So 4 over 3 r cubed is equivalent to 2000 over 3, right? So now it's much easier, right? R cubed would be 2000 over 3 divided by 4 over 3. Okay, key this into your calculator, you will get 500. Okay, so that means R cubed is 500. Okay, how to solve for R then? R would be cube root of 500. Okay, so same thing, key this into your calculator. Okay, key this part into your calculator, and then how do I continue from here? Question wants me to find D. Can see? But no worries, right? We know that D, from the fun part, we know is D is equivalent to 20 minus 2R. I know R, I can find out what is D. No issue there, right? So I know that D, okay, let me write it, D equals to 20 minus 2R. Okay, so 20 minus 2, let me submit my R. So R is the same thing as cube root 500, right? So if you see this part here, I will get a long string of numbers. If you don't want to write out the long string of numbers, it's okay as well, because that is not your final answer, right? So if you're comfortable if leaving your numbers as this way, by all means go by it. Okay, do it here as such, and then just put it in. Okay, so this part 20 minus 2 cube root of 500, which is your R, because R is cube root of 500. Okay, key all this into your calculator, you get 4.1259. Okay, that is your final answer. Okay, final answer, just round it up to 3 as that 4.13, because I'm looking at 5, right? So 5 you will round up. So answer is 4.13. That's all. Okay.